Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in the Soulforge and give you my opinion on what I think is worth crafting in there this week and what maybe you should avoid. First things first, welcome to Angel Ali, or Angel Ali, not sure the pronunciation, latest member to join the clan. Thank you very much for joining, greatly appreciated. Anyway, how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10. 10 tickles. 10 tickles. 10. Do you see? Anyway. Oh, it's awful. I know it's awful, but it's part of the fun. They're meant to be bad. Right, anyway, let's take a look at the weekly glory troop first. The Vulpine Champion. See what this thing does. Vulpacia Ultra Rare. Choose one. Do like these choose one spells. Deal either magic +3 damage to an enemy or eliminate all armor from an enemy. So that's actually not too bad a choice, to be honest. In a team that's got high armor, that could be really beneficial to do that. Or you can do straight damage. So not too bad at all. It starts battles with 25% mana, reduce damage from skulls by 25%, and allied war gear gain 2 armor. So good, if not spectacular, but that's pretty decent. So I'm going to give that a fairly solid 6 out of 10. As ever, you can take these all the way up to mythic level straight away if you have the required glory. Always worth doing, because then basically you've got another troop you can take to level 20, which is going to aid your power level kingdoms. Right then, into the Soulforge itself. Let's take a look at the weapons first. As ever, I'm not going to look at these ones that are here all the time. I have done an extra little video on these called Soulforge Extra. So if you want to see all the troops and weapons that are here all the time and a quick review on them and what is best to craft and what is best to avoid, then take a look at Soulforge Extra. Just type it into the search bar on my channel and you will find it. So not a lot of weapons here because Vulpacia is a pretty new kingdom still, but let's take a look anyway. By the way, just to let you know that this Foxfire Tome, which costs you, how many? 200 diamonds in here, which is rather valuable, even though it seems quite cheap. This weapon is available in the Raid Boss shop at the moment. So that's, I think, costs 250 gems, which is way more beneficial to spending 200 diamonds on it, as you get the extra tiers as well for that Raid Boss event. So don't buy it from here, buy it from the Raid Boss shop. Right, but let's take a look at the weapon anyway. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by Vulpacia allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and green gems for each Vulpacia ally. Uses purple and yellow, but creates blue and green, so obviously make sure you have at least a couple of other troops in your team that use blue and green to benefit from all that lovely mana. Not too bad at all if you fulfill those requirements. The other one is Orb of Vulpacia. This is kind of the anti-Vulpacia weapon, if you like. I like to call them the anti-weapon because these kind of work against Vulpacia troops. The spell is to remove all green gems without any effect, but green is the colour which Vulpacia troops like the most, so by taking them away you are seriously hindering what the team can do with that mana. Just preferably make sure your team doesn't want green mana either, otherwise you're actually going to be hurting yourself. So you remove all those gems, deal damage to an enemy boosted by the amount of gems removed, and if the enemy is from Vulpacia or the battle is in Vulpacia, deal double damage. So it certainly can be very handy indeed in those situations, but that is it for the weapons. All these other ones, as I said, are reviewed in Soulforge Extra. Alright, let's take a look at the troops. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. First up we have Deathlock Drylac. Curse and death mark an enemy. That is interesting in itself because the curse comes first, which means even if you've got an impervious troop, that is still going to work on them. Impervious troops are normally immune to death mark, but with that curse coming first, then that is not going to be the case. Then deal magic-based damage to all enemies below them and has a summon at the same time. So overall, that's actually pretty decent. It's like not a bad set of traits either. Undying is good. Summoning Ritual. Gain 8 magic after an ally is summoned. Is going to increase the power output of that spell. So yeah, not bad at all. Do be aware though that spell won't work on invulnerable troops. So that's it. But it will work on impervious troops. So cast that on the troop as high up as you can to make sure you get that curse and death mark, and then do the damage to all enemies below. But yeah, not too shabby. Sagittarian deals what looks like a decent amount of true damage to an enemy, then steal either 10 magic or 20 life or 20 armor from an enemy. So you actually take that away from them, hindering what they do, and then moving it to your own statistics. So not too bad, it's just not that great either. Celestial Arrow is fairly decent, give 2 magic to all yellow allies when matching yellow gems, but other than that, it's a little bit meh. We have Umanath, kind of like a mini Zul'Goth in a way, deals damage to an enemy boosted by all their skills, so that can be a significant amount of damage when you take in that calculation, and if the enemy dies, gain a 10 attack and create 12 skulls. So if you can get an enemy softened up first and get them in range to make sure you kill them when you cast Umanath, you'll create a bunch of skulls and maybe kill someone else as well, because you get to place Hunter's Mark on enemies when doing skull damage, which gives double damage from skulls. So really, really good. 20% chance to dodge skull damage is also pretty effective, and gain 4 attack when matching 4 or more gems is just okay. Next we have Vash Dagon. Interesting troop, this one. Devours an ally, then summons a daemon if the ally is devoured. It does say if the ally is devoured, just in case you go to cast that on someone which is immune to devour, and therefore that devour actually fails. Then deals magic-based true scatter damage boosted by life. So remember, you can actually boost your life by this because of that devour. So yeah, it can be really effective, but you do need to put it in the right team to make it effective. Curse a brown enemy with matching brown is okay, and impervious is really good, as is reduced damage from spells by 25%. So a good set of traits as well on Vash Dagon. Alright, and that is the 4 mythics. Let's take a quicker look at these legendaries really quickly. First up is Voidcaller. Choose one, destroy all purple gems and deal magic-based damage to the first 2 enemies, or create 12 purple gems and deal the same amount of damage to the last 2 enemies. So you can use that spell to your advantage. If you destroy all the gems, but basically if there's not very many purple there at all, say there's like 3 purple gems, you're much better off probably using that first option if you need to damage the first 2 enemies at the same time, because if you use the second option and create 12 purple gems when there's only a handful on the board, it's very hit and miss whether you're going to get an extra turn or not. But if there's quite a few purple gems on the board and you use purple in your team, then that creation of 12 purple gems with the ones that is there is not only going to do damage to the last 2 enemies, it's going to charge your team up that use purple, as well as deal that damage and get an extra turn at the same time. So pretty cool, not too bad at all, that one. What are the traits like? Not too bad. Start battles with 25% mana. Reflect 25% of skull damage. Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad. Who else we got? And what's the other ones? Emperor Liang. Emperor Liang's actually really good. Much better than people think, because it sounds a bit naff at first. Destroy all gems of a chosen colour, but it is with full effect as if they were matched. Then give all allies of the matching colour magic plus 1 life and 4 magic. The traits work pretty well as well. Exchange 2 life for 2 magic on 4 or 5 gem matches. So every 4 or 5 gem match, you're pushing up your magic, which means increases the amount of life that he gives when he casts, is immune to mana drain, silence, fairy fire and mana burn, and enchants a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. So actually a pretty cool troop, that. Krampus deals magic-based damage to an enemy and submerge them, or devour them, or transform them into a daemon and knock them to the back. Never a fan of these things that do or things. It's like, I kind of want to know what's going on, so I don't want to do an or type troop. Thank you, not for me. Ankum deals magic plus 1 damage to all enemies, boosted by cursed enemies. For every cursed enemy, give a barrier to a random ally. So not too bad. Damage to all always good, especially against those stealthy opponents and people hiding and stuff like that. So yeah, and the fact that it can give a barrier as well is pretty cool. And that third trait works with it. 25% chance to curse a random enemy when my turn begins. And mana shield is pretty decent too. So yeah, I'd never recommend actually crafting these legendaries. Much better to have them pop up in chests. Much better saving your diamonds for those hard to get mythics. But who gets my super coveted, not mythic of the week? Tricky one to call this, because basically each one of these troops is good in their own way, depending on your play style. But the way I look at it is if I could only have one, say they were all gone, I didn't have any of these, and I could only have one, and the rest would be removed from the game forever, who would I pick? Well, I think it would probably be Deathlock Drylac. Quite situational, but not too bad. That spell, when used properly, could be really, really effective. And yeah, viable in Guild Wars as well, because that death mark simply could just work straight away, and then you could get a lucky kill, which could change the course of the game. So, not a best bunch of mythics ever by a long stretch, but Deathlock Drylac wins the Mythic of the Week out of this particularly sorry little bunch we got here today. So but yeah, each one is okay depending on your play style. So, but hey, it was almost a toss of the coin for this on a few of these, but I'm going to give it to Deathlock Drylac. And thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you liked it, found it useful, helpful, any of that kind of stuff, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.